The crowd roared as the robotic bull bucked and snorted in the center of the arena. Its rider, a scrappy young woman with a fierce determination in her eyes, held on tight as the bull tried to throw her off. The bull was covered in rust and scratches, giving it a weathered and dangerous look that only added to the excitement of the robot rodeo. The arena was filled with smoke and dust, adding to the chaotic atmosphere. The spectators cheered and shouted, their excitement palpable. In the stands, a group of rowdy cowboys whooped and hollered, their hats tipped low over their eyes. As the bull continued to buck and twist, the young rider held on for dear life. She knew that this was her chance to prove herself, to show the world that she was the best rider in the arena. With a fierce determination, she dug her heels into the bull's sides and held on tight. The bull snorted and kicked, trying to throw her off, but she held on. She could feel the power of the machine beneath her, the gears and pistons working in perfect harmony to create the illusion of a living creature. As the seconds ticked by, the crowd grew more and more frenzied. They screamed and shouted, urging the rider to hold on just a little bit longer. And then, with a sudden burst of energy, the bull threw her off. The young woman hit the ground hard, the wind knocked out of her lungs. She lay there for a moment, dazed and disoriented, before slowly getting to her feet. The crowd was still cheering, still shouting her name, but she could barely hear them over the ringing in her ears. As she stumbled out of the arena, she couldn't help but feel a sense of disappointment. She had come so close to winning, so close to proving herself to the world. But in the end, it wasn't enough. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. The young woman continued to ride in the robot rodeo, determined to prove herself. She spent countless hours practicing, honing her skills, and perfecting her technique. And then, one day, she got her chance. The bull was bigger and meaner than ever before, its gears and pistons working in perfect harmony to create a machine that was almost alive. But the young woman was ready. She climbed onto the bull's back, her hands gripping the reins tightly. The bull bucked and snorted, but she held on. She could feel the power of the machine beneath her, the gears and pistons working in perfect harmony to create the illusion of a living creature. And then, with a sudden burst of energy, the bull threw her off. But this time, something was different. As she hit the ground, she felt a strange sensation coursing through her body. It was as if the machine had become a part of her, as if she had merged with the bull in some strange and inexplicable way. As she got to her feet, she realized that she was different. She was stronger, faster, more powerful than ever before. And as she looked up at the bull, she knew that she could take it down. With a fierce determination in her eyes, she climbed back onto the bull's back. The crowd roared as she dug her heels into its sides, urging it to go faster, to go harder. And then, with a sudden burst of energy, the bull began to slow down. The young woman could feel the machine struggling beneath her, its gears and pistons working overtime to keep up. And then, with a sudden burst of energy, the bull ground to a halt. The crowd was silent as the young woman climbed off the bull's back. She looked up at the machine, her eyes blazing with triumph. And then, with a sudden burst of energy, she reached out and ripped the bull's heart from its chest. The crowd erupted into cheers as the young woman held the heart aloft, her eyes blazing with triumph. She had proven herself to the world, had shown them that she was the best rider in the robot rodeo. And as she walked out of the arena, the heart of the bull still clutched tightly in her hand, she knew that she had become something more. She was no longer just a rider, no longer just a woman. She was a machine, a force to be reckoned with. She was rust and gears, and nothing could stop her now.